IPL franchisee Deccan Chargers has finally been sold. The Hyderabad-based team has been sold to Kamla Landmarc, which is a Mumbai-based real estate company. The proposal has now been sent to the BCCI for its approval. The details will be scrutinized by the board and a final decision will be taken. In fact, Deccan Chronicle Holdings has put news of the sale in the NAC website. Let me go across to Gaurav Gala, sports editor, who joins us for more in the story. Gaurav, this must be a big relief for Deccan Chargers because the franchise has been in trouble financially for some time now.
Big relief indeed for Deccan Chronicles Holding Limited, Rukmini. And as far as this particular sale is concerned, what we're learning is that the Deccan Chronicle Holdings Limited, the company which owns the Deccan Chargers IPL franchise, has found a buyer in Kamla Landmarc. It's a real estate company based in Mumbai, like you've told our viewers. And we believe that DC, that's the Deccan Chargers IPL franchise, have now approached the BCCI. They've gone to the IPL Governing Council, the chairman of which is Rajiv Shukla, and sources within the IPL Governing Council are telling headlines today that yes, they in principle have given their go-ahead, because let's not forget, early in September, there was, news about the Deccan Chargers IPL franchise being sold. There was a whole tender process that took place. Various firms came in. There was PVP Ventures, which at one point it looked as if they had bought the Deccan Chargers franchise, but that sale was rejected by the Deccan Chronicles Holding Limited, despite the BCCI saying that they are absolutely okay with that sale going ahead. But Deccan Chronicle at that point in time had blocked that sale. The matter then went to court because the deadline that the BCCI had set for the franchise to be sold actually passed. It elapsed. Then the matter went to court in the Bombay High Court.
Right.
It was sub judice, and at that point in time, it was decided that Deccan cannot sell without the BCCI's assent, without the BCCI's clearance. The news we're getting from the IPL Governing Council at this point in time, they are okay. They are willing to give the green signal for this sale.
Okay, Gaurav, do hold your thoughts there. Let me also go across to our correspondent Mridula Chanduri, who joins us on the phone line with more details. Mridula, huge respite, as we were saying, for Deccan Chargers, the team which will perhaps have a new lease of life with a new owner at the helm. We know that it has been in financial trouble. As recently as Friday, they were supposed to make good on a 100 crore bank guarantee to the ICC. Tell us what's the latest.
What I understand is that the board of directors in fact met yesterday, and they have decided that they will enter into a memorandum of understanding with a Bombay-based company, Mumbai-based company, Kamla Landmarc, and that has been intimated to the National Stock Exchange as well, and that the legalities of it, the further modalities of how this transfer will take place, how this sale will take place, will be known in a few days' time. But as of now, what we can confirm from Deccan Chargers is that they have decided, they have zeroed in on this particular company, and that they will be starting the process of selling Deccan Chargers. But of course, BCCI will have to come into the picture here, because all the players who are with Deccan Chargers, they are the accountability of them lies with the BCCI, and then we have to see what kind of a role now it will be, whether the team will be retained or whether the name will change. All these formalities are yet to be disclosed, in fact.
All right, Mridula, stay on the line. We also have Rasesh Mandani, our cricket correspondent, joining us from Mumbai at this point in time. Rasesh, of course, we're hearing that it's a Mumbai-based real estate firm that, has bought or is in the process of buying the Deccan Chargers IPL franchise. Of course, there's this entire court case, and the whole matter is at this point in time sub judice. Just give us the background into all of that, because we're also hearing that the IPL Governing Council, at least, has given its green light for this sale.
And I think that is what is imperative, Kara, because remember, the case that you mentioned about, it's been going on in the High Court for the past few days. Today till evening is the final time that has been given to the Deccan Chargers to submit the bank guarantee of 100 crores, which was seen as a provisional bank guarantee for its operating expenses for the next year. But of course, if the BCCI gives this sale a go ahead, then the case goes for a toss. It's near completion, because remember, it's Deccan Chargers who've challenged the BCCI termination of its franchise, and if the BCCI approves of the sale and the Deccan Chargers do happen to find a buyer with a substantial amount. Remember, the other backgrounder to this story is that the Deccan had found a buyer in amounting to about 900 crores, which they refused to accept and which was acceptable to the BCCI. So after all these days, if Deccan Chargers claim to have found a new buyer, then one would imagine that would be an amount which would be greater than 900 crores, which would be a relief to the Deccan as well. And if the terms are acceptable, then I think the BCCI would be fine as well. If the terms do mention that the players, the dues will be taken care of, that the liabilities will be taken care of by the new buyers, then that would be a win-win situation for everyone. Obviously, the finer details of the contract are still awaited, but that would be the best case scenario for the Deccan Chargers and the BCCI.
And Rasesh, as far as the BCCI is concerned, it's not just the money, it's not just the fees to the players itself, which of course is part of the rules and regulations for any up and running franchise within the IPL, but also the fact that the brand IPL, which of course has been suffering for so many years now with one controversy after another, ownership problems which we've seen throughout the history of the IPL, and of course if this can be resolved as quickly as possible, and that's something the BCCI would actually want.
That's right. Remember, the BCCI is already involved in arbitration cases with two other franchises, Kings 11 Punjab and Rajasthan Royals. And to have another arbitration matter going on, for that matter, in a scenario where Deccan cannot save their own franchise, for the board to look to float a new tender at this time when generally market terms are not considered that conducive, would be a very tricky situation for the BCCI, and it would impact the brand IPL. In fact, that was the position that the BCCI took in the court as well, that they believe that the brand would take a hit if the Deccan were not able to meet the liabilities that they have bared, and also if the players are not paid. So, like I said, if this sale is, if the terms are acceptable to both the board and the Deccan and all the liabilities are taken care of, then I think that would be a big relief for as much as the BCCI as it would be for Deccan Chargers.
How things have changed in a matter of a month. I mean, a month and a few weeks ago, it seemed as if that the relationship between the BCCI, the IPL Governing Council, and the Deccan Chronicles Holding Limited had deteriorated. It had been dragged to court. But now, if this sale does go ahead, if the IPL Governing Council, like we're hearing, has given its green light, then it seems that all is well that ends well as far as this particular episode, this particular ugly episode within the IPL is concerned.